And of course, the Terran player is getting the last scout, as always. I mean, on the bright side, we do have Reapers, so... Me, Mass Reapers? Never. Never. Yeah. Oh yeah, that build's not going to exist anymore. Which is a shame, because that means we're going to have to play the long game against Zerg players, you know. Like, they don't even have to worry about the build anymore. That's what really sucks. Yeah. Because, I mean, technically they can just hatch first now, and that's the world's most unlucky Reaper getting surrounded and killed. Alright, so let's see. Wafflemancer's doing pretty standard. He left one on gas. I talked to Grip about why you would ever leave just one on gas, and he said sometimes people do it, but 9 times out of 10 it's just a mistake. So, it's not that big of a deal in my opinion, but it is a little bit to keep track of. As you can see, there's 60 gas in there that could have been minerals. It's a good question, because I mean, personally, the way I play Zerg, I don't ever take anything off gas, so I don't think I'm a good person to ask about that. So we are getting the standard 2-1-1 here out of the Terran player, and the Zerg player appears to be doing just a standard opener as well, getting a Roach Warren. It's a little bit different than most people who get the Bane Nest, but it still works. I think this map's actually really good for Niduses, though. So that's kind of like, when you see the big little ledge right there between the natural and the main, like, you could easily sneak a Nidus right there and just ruin somebody's day. Yeah. Looks like this first scouting overlord's gonna go down. I gotta say, I honestly don't think it was worth losing it there. Normally I would say it was, but since he saw the marine count and he saw all of my buildings with those lanes, I don't think that overlord needed to die there. A little bit of a supply block there, you know, just typical Terran stuff.
I just realized that my mic muted this entire time. Fuck.
Oh, so I was over here talking by myself.
Yeah.
Hey, Siegfried, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I know. I just turned it on.
It feels good, man. Even more awkward. Alright, well, I guess you're gonna have to recap all the things you were saying.
Yeah, I'll just say every single thing I said for this entire game in about 5 seconds. Reapers are good, but they're not going to be anymore. Yeah, that's about it.
Feels good, man. Feels good, man.
Alright. Well, at least I realized it eventually. That would have been really awkward if I just casted the entire time.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're opting to go for the Widow Mine with the 2-in-1, which I think is really good. It definitely adds a lot more versatility to the 2-in-1.
I think my biggest issue is that my Marines always end up dying to it.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 I do more damage to myself than I do to the other player with the Widow Mine.
Yeah, the Widow Mine is as harmful an ally as it is a foe.
And this is typically what I try to do. Even if I don't do any damage with the first drop, I'll try and start splitting medevacs up and see what I can do from there. We've only had 2 workers go down so far, so the defense has been pretty good from the Zerg player.
Yeah, but he has been having to pull all of these workers for quite a while.
4 overlords just popped out right there.
Yeah, and losing a couple quints here
4.
really isn't good, especially if all the workers that have had been pulled.
This Liberator, what am I doing?
This is actually like really good damage though for like the amount of units invested in this. You did lose a significant amount of Marines, but at the end of the day, I still think it was worth the trade.
This Liberator just making sure no queens can come down the ramp. And unfortunately only morphing 2 Ravagers, which means that you can't kill the Liberator with one set of bile shots. There we go.
Yeah. And that Liberator will be able to get away.
Or will it? This queen,
Uh-oh.
will he be the champ?
Nope.
Oh, he didn't finish his sniper school. GG.
Queens need one more range, please.
2 more medevacs going out towards the 3rd base. 2 also flying through the area next to the Liberator.
Yeah.
And that poor Liberator, he messed with the wrong queen. That one did finish its sniper training.
Yeah. And even though these
So,
medevacs aren't being able to unload at the natural, or sorry, the main, they will be able to get to the back base.
Oh man, that micro Kappa.
Rip. Yeah.
Looks like we will pick off 3rd base here. However, the drop in the main did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I still think it's definitely worth it to be able to pick off that base. And the worker count has been relatively low from Wafflemancer. We only see 52 drones currently.
Both players are also floating a lot of money, which has a pretty big impact here.
Yeah. Just a lot of multitasking really going on, forcing both the players to pay attention to stuff other than their bases.
Looks like the upgrades are heavily in favor of the Zerg right now, as he does have 1/1 with +2 attack on the way.
Yeah.
Terran player has no upgrades coming, which is no surprise considering who it is.
I found that's actually a lot more common nowadays, is the Zerg player being ahead in upgrades. They tend to prioritize it a bit more now.
Looks like the 3rd base does get cancelled one more time. Few overlords going down here, maybe a queen as well. Nope, the queen does get out.
Yeah, just non-stop aggression from the Terran in this game. Really not letting up on this pressure, and that's exactly what you want to be doing in TVZ.
Looks like the 3rd base is finally lifting up for the Terran player and going, as it's been finished for quite a while, it just hasn't moved it. Which Wafflemancer only actually has 1 drone in the main on gas, and then 2 in the natural on gas, which is why he's got such a big mineral to gas discrepancy. Looks like these medevacs are going to keep flying back and forth, just kind of abusing the fact that the Zerg has no mobile anti-air options right now.
Yeah, and the airspace on this map is very big, so it's very easy to just like constantly be dropping place after place. Like there's so many paths you can go into.
Definitely one of the reasons Lingbane Muta is such a popular style now.
Yeah, just really like when you play a map like this, you need to think of what can happen on it. Like you can't just pick whatever strategy; it has to be suited for the map. And I think
1-1 finally starting up for the Terran player, as the upgrades for the Zerg are 2-1 with +2 carapace coming in as well.
Yeah. A lot of drones coming out here now for Wafflemancer. Finally feeling safe enough to drone up.
Looks like a triple medevac drop heading into the main here. Let's see if he's going to commit. Oh god, he's flying into Queens and Spores. Oh god.
Yeah, that's never a good feeling.
Oh god.
It's whenever you look away back at your base, like while your drop's going into macro, and then you're like, oh wait, fuck.
Looks like he's just going to focus on the infestation pit here.
Which
Pick up as much as he can and fly away.
that was probably a good move, I'd say, to pick out that infestation pit. Really forces the tech to stay at the same level for quite a while, and I think trading off a couple units for that isn't the biggest of deals.
It's also very fortunate that the hive was not already started, which means that now the hive is going to be delayed at least until the next infestation pit is created.
Yeah. And yeah,
like
1-1 Bio versus Ultras is not a pretty sight.
Definitely not. If we look at the production tab, though, that's kind of telling the tale at the moment. Zerg's been struggling a little bit on economy, as he has been stuck on 2 bases for quite a while in this game. Finally restarted that infestation pit. 2 queens sitting in the back of the natural. Looks like these medevacs aren't going to go over there, though. Hasn't been spotted. The roaches are still sitting in the main. The 3rd base, or the little pocket naturals, a little bit exposed. Roaches are heading down there now. Let's see. This drop should be shut down. We'll at least get the queen. Looks like it will get away, and he unfortunately did bile some of his own roaches there.
Yeah, and really can't afford to be taking too many losses at this point. Like, he has the infestation pit, so I'm assuming he's going to want to be teching up to hive soon. And that's going to be a big commitment in terms of resources from Wafflemancer, especially with how relatively weak his army is currently. Like, if we look at what each player has, 20 roaches and 7 ravagers to 4 tanks, 12 marauders, and 60 marines.
And the Terran player is nearly maxed out, so it looks like they're going to go ahead and push before 2-2 finishes here.
Yeah.
This is one of those moments where I was talking about the map being really weird. These Liberators are actually sieged up on a spot that the roaches can't go through.
Oh, yeah. Especially on low graphics settings, I don't think you'd even notice those, holes.
So this was the moment that I realized one of my Liberators was literally sieged on a crevice, and then I moved them.
Ooh, big bile hits. But that fourth base does go down, which is very important for this game.
And then you also see those infestors coming out of the eggs, which is pretty nice. So you're not going to keep clumping your army, hopefully. Unfortunately, I don't have the brain power to split my army while I move forward, so I'm going to do it anyway.
But, if you just A-move before the infestors have enough energy, you just win anyways, right?
Basically. That and tanks are pretty good.
Yeah.
So I've heard.
Yeah. Wafflemancer is going to clean up this army, but he did take a significant amount of losses there. He is still ahead, I would say, tech-wise, but, macro-wise, I would say he's pretty far behind. He doesn't have as many units as I think he'd like to.
And you also do see that the burrow is pretty good ways underway.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
These poor SCVs didn't deserve that.
Rip.
Hidden base going in the bottom right. Unfortunately, the SCVs transferring did get caught.
Ooh, really huge fundal there, actually catching a huge amount of that bio. Only a couple medevacs here to heal, but looks like that'll be enough to push Wafflemancer back. And these tanks better get out of that water before they rust.
That would suck. Your tanks rust up and you can't siege/unsiege them. It's stuck wherever it is.
Yeah, and they can only fire a straight line. Oh god.
There was also a drop down in the natural at this point in time. 55 workers have been killed in total this game for this Terran player.
Oh wow. And 55 workers currently for the Zerg player. So that is, literally all of his workers were killed once.
There are 27 SCVs on that hidden base. That's pretty much efficiency right there if I've ever seen it.
Yeah. Definitely.
2-2 has finished up for the Terran now.
This is actually a pretty good map for hidden bases now that I think about it. It's a really huge distance between the left side and the right. And some sharks in the
I honestly
there.
couldn't see a place to take a 4th base, so I just was like, alright, well.
Yeah.
And then here I'm going to start leapfrogging these tanks.
Yeah.
Because even though I have the bigger army, Terran's army cannot just walk into any base and just say whatever they want, unfortunately.
Especially
or you
sharks
leave biles
in the
like
water.
this.
Yeah. The sharks in the water there are really killing all these marines.
Yeah. Every time they stim, they bleed a little more. Taking big bile shots.
Yeah, really not the best control, but sufficient. And for
unfortunately, these tanks have not been touched. So.
Yeah. And as long as the tanks are alive, that's really all you need from this push.
As you can see, the Terran player is also trying to feed the starving children, floating all of the money.
Yeah. Oh god. All these roaches and infestors actually clumping up, losing quite a bit of them, is Wafflemancer. And I think that should be game. Not really enough units for him to come back. And
And Wafflemancer did GG. We were actually